Magandang araw mga ka-aerial defense, may ibabahagi na naman ako sa inyo dahil ngayong araw na ito ay may bagay tayong pag-uusapan. China nagreklamo dahil sa paglakas ng puwersa ng Pilipinas at Amerika laban sa China. Pero bago tayo magpatuloy, wag mo muna kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe. Paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Nakatakdang suriin ni United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken at ng mga opisyal ng Pilipinas ang mga pag-unlad sa mundo na nakakaapekto sa ekonomiya at seguridad ng dalawang bansa. Inaasahang makikipagpulong si Blinken sa mga matataas na opisyal tulad ni na Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo sa kanyang pagbisita mula ika-18 ng Marso hanggang ika-19 ng Marso. Sa isang pahayag na inilabas sa pamamagitan ng palasyo noong Martes, sinabi ni Manalo na ang pagbisita ay magpapalakas sa US-Philippine relationship. Bagamat hindi tinukoy ni Manalo kung aling mga pag-unlad ng seguridad ang mga ito, ang pagsalakay ng China sa pinagtatalunang West Philippine Sea ay lalong lumala simula nang maupo si Marcos sa pagkapangulo noong 2022, kasunod ng banggaan sa pagitan ng mga sasakyang pandagat ng China at Pilipinas noong Marso. Sinabi ni Marcos na naalarma siya sa insidente ngunit hindi ito nakitang dahilan para i-invoke ang Mutual Defense Treaty sa US. Ikinagalak ni US Secretary of State Antony Blinken ang kamakailan lamang na pagpapalakas ng defense ties sa pagitan ng US at Pilipinas, na tinawag niyang extraordinary.
The trilateral with Japan is a very important platform for building even greater stability and deepening peace. Just over the past year, our governments have increased cooperation on a whole host of shared priorities, not only security, but economic cooperation, humanitarian assistance, critical infrastructure. We've had trilateral meetings over the past year to include meetings between myself, Ricky, and our Japanese counterpart, the Vice President, President Marcos, and Prime Minister Kishida, National Security Advisor Sullivan and his counterparts, and this week in Tokyo, Deputy Secretary of State Kurt Campbell will be meeting with his counterparts. All of this leading to the summit meeting between President Biden, President Marcos, Prime Minister Kishida at the White House on April 11th, the first trilateral leaders summit with the United States, the Philippines, and Japan. We're constantly expanding this partnership to meet bigger challenges, to seize bigger opportunities, including semiconductors, and you heard the Foreign Secretary reference that. I had a chance today to visit the Amcor facility, which is quite remarkable. But if you look at what the Philippines is doing in this area, it's already extraordinary.
Sa pagsasalita sa naging pagbisita sa Pilipinas, sinabi ni Blinken na ang naging aksyon ng China sa South China Sea ang nag-trigger ng mas malawak na international reaction, at ang Estados Unidos ay naugnay sa pinaigting na diplomasya para pagtibayin ang international law. Naging matabang ang ugnayan sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at China sa gitna ng paulit-ulit na sigalot sa West Philippine Sea, na sumasaklaw sa exclusive economic zone ng Pilipinas, dahilan para akusahan ng Manila ang Coast Guard ng China ng policy of aggression. Sa kabilang dako, binigyang diin ni Blinken na ang kasunduan ay maituturing na ironclad, at sabing pinalawak nito ang armed attacks sa Philippine Armed Forces, public vessels at aircraft, kabilang nasa Coast Guard sa anumang bahagi ng South China Sea.
And as well as creating greater interoperability, modernizing our military with real and important benefits for local communities. We have a shared concern about the PRC's actions that threaten our common vision for a free, open Indo-Pacific, including in the South China Sea and in the Philippines exclusive economic zone. Repeated violations of international law and the rights of the Philippines, water cannons, blocking maneuvers, close shadowing, other dangerous operations. These waterways are critical to the Philippines, to its security, to its economy, but they're also critical to the interests of the region, the United States, and the world. It's why we stand with the Philippines and stand by our ironclad defense commitments, including under the Mutual Defense Treaty. Article 4 extends to arm attacks on the Filipino armed forces, public vessels, aircraft, including those of its Coast Guard, anywhere in the South China Sea. Most important is we stand together in our determination to uphold international law for the Philippines, for everyone else, against any provocative actions. As the Foreign Secretary mentioned, we're also deepening our cooperation with partners who share this commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. The Mutual Defense Treaty, I'll simply repeat what I said. We stand behind it. We have an ironclad commitment to it and to the Philippines. And Article 4 of that treaty extends to any armed attacks on Filipino armed forces, on public vessels, on aircraft, and that would include its Coast Guard. And that would also be anywhere in the South China Sea. So we've been very clear about that, very consistent about that.
Samantala, sinabi ni Philippine Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo na ang hamon ay kung paano pananatilihin at itataas ang relasyon sa Estados Unidos, saka pinasalamatan ang US para sa suporta sa kamakailan lamang na alitan sa China sa West Philippine Sea. Muling iginiit ng China na walang karapatan ang Estados Unidos na makialam sa usapin sa West Philippine Sea. Ito ay matapos na ipahayag ni United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken ang commitment ng Amerika na tulungan ang Pilipinas pagdating sa usapin ng mga armadong pag-atake sa mga disputed waters sa ating bansa. Ayon kay Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian, hindi bahagi ang Estados Unidos sa issue sa West Philippine Sea dahilan kung bakit hindi aniya dapat ito makisawsaw sa maritime issues sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at China.
美国不是南海问题的当事方，也无权介入中非两国之间的涉海问题。美菲的军事合作不得损害中方在南海的主权和海洋权益，更不能以此为菲律宾的非法主张站台背书。中方将继续采取必要的措施，坚定捍卫自身的领土主权和海洋权益，维护南海的和平稳定。
Kasabay nito ay ipinunto din ng Chinese official na ang gagawing military cooperation sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at Estados Unidos ay hindi dapat na makapinsala sa soberanya at maritime right ng China gayon din sa interest ng kanilang bansa sa West Philippine Sea. Aniya, hindi rin daw dapat ito magbigay ng platforms para sa umano'y mga illegal daw na claims ng ating bansa sa naturang teritoryo. Kaalinsabay nito ay nanindigan ang China na magpapatuloy sila sa paggawa ng mga kaukulang hakbang upang depensa umano ang kanilang territorial sovereignty at maritime rights and interests sa West Philippine Sea na teritoryong pilit nilang inaangkin mula sa ating bansa. Magugunit ang kasalukuyan ng nasa Pilipinas si US Secretary of State Antony Blinken bilang bahagi ng Brief Asia Tour upang mas palakasin pa ang suporta ng Estados Unidos para sa regional allies nito, idaraos ng Pilipinas, Japan, at United States ang kauna-unahang Trilateral Leaders Summit sa ika-11 ng Abril. Kinumpirma ng United States Embassy sa Pilipinas, si Pangulong Marcos at ang punong ministro ng Japan na si Kishida Fumio ay haharapin ni US President Joe Biden sa White House. Sa summit, tatalakayin din ng tatlong leader ang trilateral cooperation para isulong ang inclusive economic growth at mga umuusbong na teknolohiya, isulong ang malinis na supply chain ng enerhiya at climate cooperation, at higit pang kapayapaan at seguridad sa Indo-Pacific at sa buong mundo.
Yes, the scheduled trilateral summit will be held I think the second week of April in Washington, D.C. And of course, this is the first of its kind. And the main aim we all expect is that the trilateral summit will seek to aim cooperation, more cooperation, especially at the trilateral level. And this will include cooperation to promote economic growth and cooperation in various areas, such as in promoting clean energy. They'll also discuss, we expect, climate cooperation, and of course, further peace and security in the Indo-Pacific region, and also around the world. And at the moment, we're also undertaking meetings at other levels, at senior official level, to see how this can also, how these various activities can be operationalized. So the basic aim, essentially, is to reaffirm also our historical ties of friendship, our commitment to shared democratic values and a shared vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific, and how to further promote the prosperity, security, and peace of our peoples and of the region.
Article 4 of the Mutual Defense Treaty, and that it takes an armed attack to activate the said agreement. But we also know for a fact that there is an escalation of tensions in the South China Sea, specifically within the West Philippine Sea, Second Thomas Shoal and Scarborough Shoal. And there have been collisions, injuries among Filipino crew, use of water cannon, and military-grade laser, clearly all gray zone tactics. So the question is whether there's a way to address these incidents which fall just a little below the threshold of an armed conflict. Is there a way to adjust to changing tactics? And is there a stronger action that the international community can take? Because some experts say that the aggression of China in the South China Sea already warrants a sanction.
Let me say a few things to that. First, I think the Philippines has been extremely successful in pursuing and asserting its rights under the law, and we've seen that, and the world has seen that. The world has also seen the very actions that you described taken by China in violation of international law and Filipino rights. And the very visibility of those actions, I think, has provoked from a number of other countries clear statements in support of the Philippines and against these provocative actions that are a threat to peace, security, freedom of navigation, and basic rights under international law. So in and of itself, I think the actions that China's undertaken have produced a reaction, not just from the Philippines, but from a number of other countries. In terms of what we're doing, we're engaged in intense diplomacy, as is the Philippines, so that countries come together, or even individually, to reaffirm international law, to reaffirm the rights that everyone is entitled to. That's important. Second, we have, for many years, made major investments in the capacity of the Philippines. Those investments continue, both in its maritime capacity, but also more broadly in its economic capacity, because its economic strength and resilience is probably the most important factor in determining its long-term security. And I just described some of the things that we're looking at doing to carry that forward in even more effective ways. So I think the response really has been and continues to be a comprehensive one, so that the Philippines can be in the strongest possible position to affirm its rights, as it has been doing, and properly so.
Yes.
Para sa mas madaming update tungkol sa ating defense, abangan lamang ang aking mga bagong video. Para naman sa mga gusto magpa-shoutout, mag-comment lamang po at share, paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Huwag mo na rin kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe. Pindutin mo na rin ang bell para updated kayo sa aking mga video. Maraming salamat po.